Hello again. Welcome to October and a new month, new episodes. So this month on the podcast we have, starting this week, we've already missed it actually, we had Sarah Yandel talking about the power of coaching in leadership. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, do give it a go. Next week we have the 6 pillars of leadership with Jim Carlo. And then we have back-to-back episodes, 2 very different experiences of Navy veterans in different navies as well. So we'll be talking with Clay Moffat about betrayal, human nature, happiness, fulfillment, all kinds of topics. Really varied and interesting conversation there. And then the week after that, we have Mark Kohler, and we'll be talking with him about his experiences on nuclear submarines and his work with leaders today to help them be more effective for the modern workplace. And then to round out the month, I'll be talking with Annabelle Smith about her leadership coaching practice, her experiences in the education sector, and her travels all over the world as well. So another varied and very interesting conversation. If that hasn't already piqued your interest, keep watching and you can have a little short preview clip from each one of those episodes. Well, apart from this week's, that one you can go and watch right now. You can see the whole thing. Links in the comments, as always. Bye.
But I've been very, very lucky, and I've seen how my leadership has evolved and will always evolve, because I now understand that leadership is not, here's the structure today, and it's always going to be this structure. You have to adapt as the economy and as people evolve, etc. And so I was looking back one day, or somebody asked me, well, how did you lead when you were, fresh out of college? And I thought for a second, and I said, well, I graduated college in 1984. So now all of your listeners are calculating my age as we speak. In 1984, in the United States, leadership was still somewhat like it was in the 70s and 60s, or more authoritarian, although starting to evolve, where your manager or leader basically gave you a list of things that you had to accomplish that day. Today, that's not how I lead. I'm more collaborative, giving people freedom of how to get to the end of the job and helping them and coaching them through that. And as I was having this conversation, I kept thinking about my first team that I managed right out of college. And I literally said, I think I need to find them all and apologize for the way I led them. I didn't do anything illegal or immorally wrong, but I don't do that today. And the difference is so huge.
I heard something recently which I have adopted. And when I say recently, I mean in the last 3 days, which is the best is yet to come. And if you, because I actually look back over my life and things have continuously got better and better and better and better, right? I mean, if you've got the ability to be flexible and not think that it has to work out the exact way that you plan it in your head, but it will work out in a way, then you'll find that, typically your life will continue to get better. If you can look at life from a point of view now and say that, and however many years of experience you got, 20, 30, 40, then it's a pretty safe bet to say that that's likely going to continue. And so, like I said, this has been the last 3 days that I've started to bring this on. There is a massive sense of inner peace that comes with just having a baseline belief that the best is yet to come, because you're not necessarily anticipating amazing things, but you just don't know what's around the corner. You don't know when that next surprise is just going to rock your boat. This is awesome. I've met some young kids that have been through some really rough things, and they had someone in a time of need offer a perspective that just shifted the direction of their life. And at 20, they had more wisdom than I had at 38.
One of the number one things you can do as a leader is, if you really want to push decision-making down and you want to establish stronger relationships with people, if you're a leader today, every single answer to a question you get asked, it should be the same answer back. And if someone says, I don't know whether we should go with option A or B, I don't say, hey, it's option A and let them go. I ask them back, what do you think? It's the number one thing you can do is, what do you think? And then the person goes, hey, then that tells you as a leader, they're not confident in that decision. Maybe they're a little scared. They're going to say the wrong thing to you, or they don't know the factors behind it. So you would then say as a leader, and you have to have time to do this, you would say, what are the factors you take into account to make that decision? If you know there's 4 and they tell you 3, you would tell them the 4th one, but then you don't say that's why it's option A. As a leader, you pause and you say, knowing those are the 4 factors, what decision should we make? And they say option A, and then you say, fantastic. In the future, if it's less than $75, I want you to make that decision every single day. If it's above it, just come to me with what your thoughts are. That is true leadership today. You can't do any of that if you're working 80% in the business and don't have time. Like 6 seconds, tell someone, 3 or 4 minutes to actually transfer your decision-making down.
Knowing that you work in a place where you can go to the top, I'm not talking about enormous institutions, but a pretty top, even if it's not the very top, and say, can I talk to you about something? That seems to me like a leadership success. So, and not, you need to know that so-and-so is horrible, but, actually something kind of, professional and constructive. I mean, that's huge. That's the leader most leaders want to be. Most people start out saying, I want to be approachable, my door is always open, and then very, very quickly that gets lost, which circles back to this idea that, you need to be seen, you need to be present, in whatever way it's viable, depending on the size of the section you're leading or the institution you're leading. But you need to be a real person and you need to be human.